Hi, my name is Aaron Parker. I'm the founder of Progress Holistic, or Sapphire, Public Seeking American Governing Holistic and Institutional Reform Evaluations. Here's a retracement of some writings. I wrote them from 8 months to over a year ago. Every good citizen minds his own business, yet takes care of the other in their time of rational need. A good citizen would rather cast out an impostor by democratic vote rather than stone him. Benjamin Franklin might say, "Why take this man's life, when we might chain him to work until he learns the value of his lesson? Remember, time is money." Although when chains burden those judged beyond the principle of justice, the harmony which constitutes a soul like Abraham Lincoln's shall echo his sentiment.
In giving freedom to the slave, we assure freedom to the free. Honorable alike in what we give and what we preserve, we shall nobly save, or meanly lose, the last best hope.
This is the meaning of being an American, to progress towards beneficial dreams while conserving all that we operate upon. What we have failed to progress over the conservation of men's manners is societal matters. If we fail to recognize these matters, we become the shame of the world's history. We must never forget the manner in which we came, nor turn a blind eye to the matters that lay before us. My journey into my philosophical approach of politics started with academia, but then turned into self-directed research. I noticed that I was able to connect dots a little better with my own sense of direction. I started with this campaign. Make it out alive. America's misinformation age. Shucks. Slow down there, Yankee Doodle. Smell the red roses. Enjoy the blue skies. Rejoice to the white in all of mankind's eyes. My funding was unsuccessful. I really had no idea what I was getting myself into with the whole crowdfunding thing. I appreciate the $2 that the two gentlemen did provide, though. It was a metaphor for 2 cents, which told me that I was on the right path. Uncovering world history's largest scandal with philosophical reasoning. Understand the collapse of the Republican Party and the unification of American government. Promote world peace, health, disarmament, education, free trade, community, justice and prosperity for all. Democracy shall inherit the earth, not steal it by contract. What is there to argue about? The rhetorical pursuit of conscious balance in the battle of life over death. Rewards were to be delivered via email for the purpose of open source citation. An intellectual inquiry for policy change. The risks and challenges associated with this campaign. I have found the courage and stayed true to the stars in many mental storms. I'm a 25-year-old carpenter. I pride myself on efficiency, work ethic, and intellect. Such is the modern autonomous man in competition with machine and nature. However, the hand I have been dealt is familiar to fables and legends. I was born in a war machine as a cog. geared to think this way or that. How uncomfortable my life has been. Yet now is the time for us all to grow up and start turning the tables back against those who plot against us. They have intercepted daily life with mundane contract. Seek them out with love and justice. I had a few items that people could choose out. They were all going to be academic articles. I'll just go ahead and play this because it's relevant for the next Overton window.
My name's Aaron Parker. I'm a U.S. citizen. And I will no longer sell my name to the arms of perdition. An attempt on my life took place just before sunrise. A white man in black coming from the east approached me from behind with clenched fists. When I looked into his eyes, he ran away.
Yeah. I know it seems strange. Here's the story behind my first Twitter account, though, which I made that same night. Every king must have his throne. The nine-headed serpentine sought the globe. Oh, there's room enough in heaven, fruit-filled jars. The bodies may pile to the stars. I was attending Salt Lake Community College in the fall of 2015 through spring of 2016, coursing through The Making of the West, political science, psychology, anthropology, and public speaking, among other humanities courses. I was paying close attention to the lack of transparency obscuring governmental actions abroad and the bizarre behavior of domestic press and media. After downloading the recently released 28 pages from the 9/11 Commission, the Iraq torture reports, and looking into the Panama Papers, I intuitively knew something deep was awry. The mediocrity of contemporary communication led me to suggested reading from my Western civilization course. The likes of Voltaire, Kant, Paine, Hume, and the American founding fathers filled my thoughts and structured my aspirations. After I couldn't wrap my mind around the incongruities of Intro to Business, or Business 1010, I dropped my pursuit to an unenlightened higher education, or psychological programming. I fell into a state of depression. My only method of keeping it together was to attempt to piece together the fragments of a forgotten era, which lay behind a neoliberal and fascist facade. In the dawning hours of an early April morning, I was staying true to a routine of reading, chain smoking, and listening to music in my Chevy Cobalt coupe. I was reading Crowley's Why Jesus Wept when I noticed the figure of a tan-skinned man with fine threads, leather gloves, and a coat of arms on his breast beelined me from across the street. By the time he had reached my driver's side window, I had reached into my back seat where I was concealing a dull machete I had randomly found in an abandoned couch and storage unit months earlier. With a guttural force, I growled, "What the fuck is going on?" as I brandished the dull sword in defense of whatever his imposing will was. He threw his hands in the air, claimed, "Nothing, man," and did a 180, speed walking in the original direction he was feigning before he had beelined me. The word I vividly recall ending on that mid-morning was none other than semideus. After I calmed down and did my best to recollect my thoughts and goals, I made a video, Kickstarter campaign, and my first Twitter account, naming it Worship for anthropological linguistic reasons. I couldn't imagine how far that fateful event would propel me to find solutions to contemporaneous riddles of leading an innocent and fulfilling life in today's society of imposters and assassins. About 2 weeks after I'd started that campaign, I contacted an uncle that does startup advice. Here's my conversation with him. "Hey there, my utmost avuncular link. I didn't realize your line of work. I'm in need of your assistance. Please consider the following as a mission statement for an organizational movement, online media, in order to inculcate moral philosophy into popularity. I will make a YouTube, multimedia, and open source article series of primary source and cited historical analysis to synthesize multiple worldview extrapolations in order of drawing a fine line of morality through what is today's global economy, as to illustrate the profits that lie in between the extremity of polarities in politics and public opinion's affect of laissez-faire effects. If you are interested in vetting any of my public opinion, @worship is my Twitter account, and I believe we are Facebook mates. Cheers, warmest regards and respect, Aaron Parker." I went on to plead my case. "I'm poor, my college has been duped, but I believe in myself more than anything else I've been seeing or hearing as of late. It's not hubris, but humility. That I am a consuming burden on all those in closest proximity to me, whom I love more than myself. An old Zulu proverb. People make people people." He replied, "Howdy from Texas. Thanks for expanding my vocabulary. I had to look up avuncular. Thanks for sharing your burning Twitter feed, too. What's your greatest or highest hope for this project?" "End war. Realize peace," I respond. "Spirituality from the seemingly mundane. And to get back on course with what our founding fathers had intended. Basically to get as many people to understand at heart what morality is out of context with religious ideology, as well as what bioculturalism and ethnocentrism are, describing what they shall mean to America in the near future, lest we destroy ourselves first. I have a very small network of people willing to listen to me, and I want to make this multimedia platform easy to understand, animated, and from an independent theory of mind, which all take time and capital, what I am lacking most. I suppose I was seeing if you had any ideas or contacts that are into the humanities or social good projects, organizations. And I saw that you were a pun lover, so I had to throw avuncular in to throw you off. It was the word of the day 2 weeks ago. he responded. Thank you for your response. You've now given me 2 more words to look up. It is clear you are highly intellectual and a very deep thinker and philosopher. As someone who has built multimedia platforms in the past, you are wise to seek like-minded individuals and organizations who will benefit from your thesis. There are very few successful organizations who have been able to tap into financial resources for altruistic purposes without a proper hook. I would encourage you as well as be willing to participate in determining that hook, as I believe your pursuits are noble. You have a grand vision, but you will need to create a roadmap with milestones and determine the fundamental constituents and allies who will benefit along the way. The greatest journey begins with a single step, and I am proud of you for taking the first ones. I will further encourage you that you will need to simplify your messaging as you create your roadmap. Each step will need to lead to the next, but you will be the keeper of the master plan. Each step must be communicated simply, and you will be able to find allies who will fund the next step along the way. For example, we are in a highly politically charged environment right now with lots of money being thrown towards politicians. You must first apply your thesis towards the politician that you believe to be the closest to your vision and gain supporters along the way. It appears you have already started this. I've had most success by finding contributors who are willing to write articles for me. That has been important because I am not a great writer. One thing I have been in control of is the editorial calendar. When you open your eyes to where the money is flowing, it will be much easier to see where the alignments are and then get yourself into the stream. The challenge with altruistic visions is the inability to make those adjustments. While it may seem a temporary compromise, it is actually exercising wisdom. For what you are embarking on, you will need to take a long-term view. You are a grand scribe. Thank you for your words of wisdom. I cherish your answers and advice indubitably. This has been a retracement, just 4 simple writings